You bring me so much joy when you're in the office, Ethan.
Okay.
I'm
not appreciating the sarcastic tone. I'm not appreciating the sarcastic tone. You know, I've always wanted to be more flexible. Like I'm just like so like stiff.
Oh, more flexible.
Yeah, more flexible. Like physically flexible.
Random
goal, right?
I didn't know what that meant.
Not flexible. No.
I want to be more flexible.
The Asian squat. It's also like the Russian squat and all that stuff. But anyway, we won't get political.
Well, speaking of the toilet.
hey, how's it going?
What is success to you? Yeah.
From an unsuccessful person,
Hey, don't say that.
not yet.
Tell us first why you asked. I just had a birthday a few weeks ago,
Happy
very
birthday.
recently. It's too late already.
Oh shit. 안녕하세요. Continue.
Welcome to Cut the Stem. Welcome to Cut the Stem, and today we are back, and we've got again every episode different combination of people.
Yeah.
Today we've got our sort of producer, Ethan.
Hello.
Look
This
at
is
that. He was doing a joke. This was very good. No, I'm kidding. I give him a hard time, but he's so funny. I laugh all the time when he's around. You bring me so much joy when you're in the office, Ethan.
Okay.
Let
I'm not
me sing
appreciating
a
the
little song
sarcastic
about
tone. I'm not appreciating the sarcastic tone. You know, I could just edit
No,
this
we'll
out.
get
You know?
demonetized.
Don't edit it out. Don't edit it out.
I'll make you look
Don't-
really bad.
Don't edit it out. This is part of our dynamic that keeps this ship afloat. No. Ethan's a great guy. Go follow him at Ethan on X or something. And
Okay, anyway, we have Eric as well with us.
and we have Eric
Hi.
Basil.
안녕하세요.
Yes, and he is a great guy, part of the STEM community here at Space Quest. So guys, what are we talking about today?
What does it mean to be successful?
Yeah.
That's where we're gonna start, at least.
What does it mean to be successful? Well, what is success to you?
What is success to you? Yeah.
What? Let's start with some definitions. How about you, Ethan? Tell us, what does it mean?
Me first. It's multifaceted. I feel like that's the classic answer. Of course, there's family, there's work, there's personal life involved as well. I mean, me personally, it's like if I can consistently stay connected with my family, if I can, in like simple terms, if I can feel at least consistently again feel like I'm achieving and doing like good work that I'm proud of in my job. And then the third part is like the personal is, I mean, most of my goals and things that I feel like make me feel like I am being successful or whatever comes from like exercise and my goals there. Like this year I'm trying to run a 5K in under 20 minutes.
Nice.
And then next year I got another goal with a marathon and blah blah blah. So for me, like, that's success.
And as we approach the end of the year, do you feel it was a successful year?
Well, I haven't achieved. Well, yes. On all of those like three main fronts, yes. Like for me,
Right.
Yeah.
Because the success is ultimately not achieving the checklist, right? But it's sort of about like also knowing that you tried doing certain things and maybe it didn't reach where you wanted it to be, but at least there's a lot of people who put a lot of resolutions at the start of the year, then they don't get to any of them. Would you say it is some form of success if you actually...
I think you need like a good amount of self-analysis, and there's always like a blind spot that everyone has of like, this is a goal of mine, but I'm
Right.
kind of just going to put it off or put it at the back of my mind and always say that I don't have enough time or energy to do it. Like, I think one that I have consistently not done, I've consistently failed at every year, and I look at it and it's like, did I even try that year? Not really. And if I'm being generous, I'll say maybe I'm improving, but not much. Is I've always wanted to be more flexible. Like I'm just like so like stiff.
Oh, more flexible.
Yeah, more flexible. Like physically flexible.
I heard
Random
fixable.
goal, right?
I didn't know what that meant.
Not fixable. No.
I want to be more fixable. Okay.
No,
So
and-
what this year was it the best you have gotten to your flexibility goals?
Best, but like, I'm instead of a 0 out of 10, I'm like a 1.
Okay, well,
So it's like, and the amount of time and effort I've put into it has been so little.
Wait, so you
Okay.
want to be physically flexible?
Yeah,
Oh.
that's
you
what I
meant
mean.
what? Like,
Or
I was
okay,
like, huh?
okay, because a really big thing this is probably really bad for an audio podcast, but like, all Asians can squat. There's like a term, the Asian squat. Well, it's also like the Russian squat and all that stuff. But
Mhm.
anyway, we won't get political.
okay, and then
The types of squats. It's shaky,
yeah, right.
shaky ground.
yeah.
I can't squat. Like physically, I can't.
Ooh. That means you
Mm.
can't go to the squatting toilet in the public
Okay, can.
restroom.
Can't.
He can.
But like I can't put my heels down. My heels can't be flat. Like I'm like raised up, and it's
Oh.
uncomfortable.
Ooh.
And
Yeah.
a really big
Yeah,
predictor for like. Wait, what?
He said you'll fall into the toilet.
Okay, well, imagine. Okay, I'm young, right? But let's say I'm 80 years old. Still, nothing has changed. That will probably happen.
Oh.
Like it sounds silly, but when you're 80, like you'll break your hip, you'll break your arm. Like bad stuff will happen. And it's easy to think now I'm just 20.
Yeah.
80-year-old New Zealand
It really
New
calls.
Zealander
It
falls
really
into
calls the
toilet.
question of why do we have those toilets, right? It's still to this day.
I mean, it's good for bowel. Like when you are.
I've heard that,
When your knees
yeah.
are in the right position, then
Yeah.
you're not cutting
Simple
something.
construction.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very easy to construct. It's hard to make a toilet.
I guess so.
Cheap, simple.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of the toilet,
Hey, how's it going?
what is success to you?
Oh.
Yeah.
From an unsuccessful person,
Hey, don't say that.
not yet.
Tell us first why you
Oh.
asked. Then we will let you know.
I don't know lah. It's like, I think success for me in a very simple way. I think, it's just being comfortable, like knowing that your life, like what's happening with your life right now is in a comfortable state. That means not having to worry about all the natural stresses of the world. I think the most
Give us an example. Like, what are you referring to in not having
being
to worry?
broke,
Ah,
having no
yeah,
love
big
in
one.
life.
being broke? Is that a natural stress of the world?
Yeah, I
yeah,
guess
for
so.
sure.
No money, no happiness, no.
You need a place to live, food to eat.
Yeah. There's that. I mean, like, I don't know whether or not that's like part of because of the way we've constructed things that I wouldn't call it a natural thing. I would say it's a
Oh.
necessary stress.
It's a
whether it's,
man-made stress, lah. I
ah.
would say, not natural.
He looks like he disagrees, but
Is it not?
It's a man-made stress to like need to eat and afford.
No,
like,
I
for a
mean
place
like I
to
mean
live.
I feel like the concept of money is man-made, and because of that, that's why the whole division between
Yeah,
who is
because
wealthy and
being
who's-
broke often is not a result of like fulfilling our needs. It's also like wanting to upkeep our lifestyle.
It depends on
Yeah.
like what you're looking at.
I mean, we could have all been farmers and then all had free food, but we created this barrier between
That food ain't free, man. You gotta wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning and
plow the fields.
plow the fields.
But
Yeah.
I mean, but if it wasn't for people who became non-farmers, we
Mm.
wouldn't have vaccines
Yes.
and healthcare and stuff. So
yeah,
you need that as well.
Yeah.
that's a STEM reference.
Yeah.
So
Do
yeah.
you want potatoes or vaccines? Ask yourself that.
yeah,
Yes.
just
Unless it's the potato vaccine, then you need both.
You do need both.
you
yeah.
need both.
but coming back to it, it's like I guess just being comfortable. I think that's what being successful
Mm.
means to me, lah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And okay, you started off by saying you, as an unsuccessful person,
Mhm.
so you're not comfortable.
I'm not comfortable in my life right now. That
Yeah.
I'm being very honest.
You mentioned, and both of you said something that related to relationships, right? That's like a big marker of how you define whether or not you are successful or not.
I don't think I just said being loved.
Or being loved.
It doesn't mean I have to be in a relationship.
Wow.
That's
As long
a
as you
whole
get the
other
attention, huh?
podcast.
It's like it's not like
Yeah.
love from other people. It's like love to myself. Yeah, whatever. Parental love.
Oh, so yeah, relationships lah.
Okay, yeah, but not
Yeah,
romantic relationship.
Not
Yeah,
romantic
yeah.
relationships.
Not just,
Yeah, he
okay.
also said his family and stuff. So like how the quality of your relationship with your families is a big marker of success for
correct.
both of you. That's nice.
Do you, I
Yeah, I mean, I know a lot of people who, when you ask them what is success, like that's not even in. I'm sure you guys know those people as well, where they don't even mention those things. It has a lot to do with their financial situation, their career situation,
true.
things they've actually achieved that they can put on their LinkedIn or show other people more than like. And I feel like you guys' list, it's not like you guys are trying to be really like, oh, I don't care about money and all that. It's part of it, but it's a quite a well-rounded list of things, list of markers that you'll use to define your success.
I mean, throughout your life, I feel like it changes. I mean, everyone's life is different. Everyone's like own adventure is different, but it definitely changes. Like if you started out your life like super, super poor, then damn right, money's going to be one of the biggest things. And then maybe you earn a bit more and you end up getting more flexibility, different types of flexibility. You'll be like,
he's really on this flexible thing today.
This is my thing that I'm talking about now. You'll sort of maybe then you'll change your values and you'll start to value family and time more, or changes for everyone.
Do you feel you value family now more than ever in your life?
No, definitely not.
No?
Well,
you don't value family now?
Because especially you're away from them. They're very far away.
So I'm away from pretty much all of my family, yeah. I'm currently putting it in the back of my mind. This is the best way that I can adapt to it, is that I'm putting it in the back of my mind and try not to think about it too much. Because otherwise it's just miserable. I just sit here and just
But that means that doesn't mean you don't value it. You could still value it more than any time. Like you're just trying not to think about it.
I value it in a complex sense in the way that I'm choosing to ignore it currently, but my plans in the future are going to fix that.
Okay.
So currently I'm not with my family.
So what you're doing right now is working towards a place where you don't have to miss them anymore.
Yeah.
That's nice.
And then while I'm getting there, I'm trying not to think about it.
Okay.
And if I was just doing that, it'd be bad and things would just be bad forever. But yeah.
Okay, we'll give you a hug after this.
Okay, thank you. I need it.
Yeah, it'll be good. Yeah.
How about you?
How do I define success?
As a successful man.
I think that right now, just speaking personally, there's a lot of things that I just had a birthday a few weeks ago.
Happy
very
birthday.
recently. It's too late already.
Oh shit.
It's too late already. I was just telling my friends that that actually I realized that even though I haven't achieved a lot of the things that I wanted to achieve by this age, there's also I realized a lot to be grateful for, right? And then like a week or two later, you and I both had car issues, and it was all kind of crap, right? And then I realized like and I had to keep still reminding myself of all the things that I have that are still like great accomplishments. Like again, my relationship with my family, my relationship with my partner.
Oh, shout out to
my partner. Shout out to my
E.T.
partner. Yeah. So
Sorry.
gotta censor that out, man. Yeah. And then and all of these things, right? So and the fact that yes, I still have a job. You know, I still go to the office, and there's still people that I kind of like, and I get to see like right. Like some people go to work and they hate everybody.
True.
They meet at work, right? So I'm glad that I don't work at one of those places. So there's all those things that still, I have a good group of friends, a very diverse group of friends, a lot of different experiences that come with that. And I think that as I get I'm older than all of y'all. As I get to the point where I start thinking more about like, career and stuff like that, it's not like how I spoke about it in college so much, where it was more like, after this, I'm going to do this. Because now there's so much more factors to it. Like, I don't know about you, but you're married, so you would know. But personal time is like a really big factor, especially when you're considering career and stuff like that, right?
Hard to find, yep.
Yeah, when you were in college, you were like, oh, I'll just work. It's fine to work all the time as long as I get the money. But then you realize that, no amount of money can replace like lost time that you don't have to yourself. So I would say I'm in between. I struggle with the things that I'm not accomplishing, but I'm also trying to celebrate the things that I do have, and there's beauty in the struggle, man.
Yeah. Have you guys heard of the hedonic treadmill?
No.
Okay, so
another flexibility.
No, it's not. Okay. It's got nothing to do with actual treadmills.
Okay.
It's a psychology term, and the idea of the hedonic treadmill is that every time you set a goal and you achieve it, and you think you'll finally be happy, but then
there's
what do you
another
go and do? You set another goal,
Mm.
and you're constantly thinking, once I get there, I'll be happy. Once I
Mm.
get there, I'll be happy. And it's a treadmill because the more you walk, you don't actually go anywhere,
Yeah.
and you never actually feel happy. I mean,
Mm.
that's the usual example. You feel happy, you feel like you're successful or whatever. And career is the one where this it applies like very
Mm.
very well.
Because there's so many goals that come attached to your career. It's like
Yeah.
what's your salary, what's your
Position,
yeah.
what you've achieved. Yeah.
So it's like it's a lot. It's like a lot of stuff. So I mean, I'm looking at our intern Zoe, right? And I remember when I was an intern, and I was thinking like what the goals were then, as opposed to now 3 years later working. It's so different.
Sure.
You know. So yeah, it's like crazy times. Thanks for sharing, guys.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah.
Right.
you need a bit of self-love and sense of like, it's good to look back at the year. It's good to look back at the year and think, what did I do not so? I mean, if you did stuff well, of course you feel happy. No need to fix that. But if you felt you did, poorly, try not to be too harsh on yourself. Or if you feel like you've kind of gone nowhere, yeah. Honestly, even if you got there, I don't know if you'd feel much better, because you'd just be setting another goal. So I feel like just, try be happy, but also don't be dumb. Don't just sit there and do nothing.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
you do
yeah.
have to look at, where
Yeah.
you failed. Try be objective.
Yeah, I mean, talk like if you have problem assessing where you are, talk to people who you trust who can kind of help you see things in the true light of what it is, rather than just
Something I've seen my wife struggle with a lot is she will have her own expectations, and she will try manage what she considers as successful. And she'll, I've talked to her about the hedonic treadmill a lot, and trying to balance your expectations. And if you don't make it, it's okay, and if you do, it's good. Blah blah blah. But something that is so difficult, and I think a lot of people in Malaysia like kind of, it's almost like counterintuitive, or it's just a paradox. Is with your parents. Is because you love your parents, and sometimes they may not say stuff you agree with, but you can't, it's not some random person that it's not some friend. If they really disagree with you, you can't just push them away. They're your parents. You just can't do that. And I definitely struggle because I can't relate too much to her. Like, my parents were always incredibly supportive. I mean, almost too much to the point where I didn't have as much direction, and that's its own issue. But do you guys feel like you can kind of relate to this much?
I mean, like, generally or like specifically to my point of view, or like general Malaysian point of view?
Specifically yours, I'm interested.
Specifically mine. Parents. Hello, mom and dad. Please don't watch this moving forward. I think growing up, because I have an older sister, my parents were more, I think, more intense with my sister with her academics.
Okay.
That when it came to me, I was pretty poor in it in my primary level. To a point where I feel like my parents stopped caring. Caring is such a bad word to use, but it did feel like they cared less, or they had lower expectations for me. But that it's such a blessing, because it kind of like made me more competitive to prove my worth to them.
Ooh, I like that.
And then it's because I'm the youngest in the family in terms of all the cousins as well.
Okay.
And everyone keeps comparing me to what they got for their major exams. So it's like UPSR, this person got 5 A's. PMR or PT3, they got like 7 A's and above. Or I think 7 A's was the max. And then SPM was a whole another thing. Right? So it just felt like I kept needing to prove myself, even though there was low expectations from my parents itself. But very grateful for that, because I found my own way of studying, and I could push myself towards my own goals.
Okay. Do you feel like that it kind of affected how you view success, like for yourself?
I mean, the only way it affected it is like I stopped giving like two flying. Oh, can I say that?
You stopped caring. Okay.
Yeah, I stopped caring like of what other people wanted from me.
Okay.
I care about only what I believe that I could achieve, and my own goals that I set for myself. Yeah.
Nice.
Oh, thanks.
I would say that in my situation, I had good parents who were very supportive, and I was just a terrible child. Yeah, I was very defiant. Not very surprising, I'm sure. And then I think it took me a long time. I was one of those kids where I think, like, if you saw me, then you would like want to slap me because you would be like, oh, your parents actually really like good, and you seem quite ungrateful for. But I think also that kind of attributed to the fact, which I don't know if I mentioned, if I was homeschooled on here.
No, you mentioned.
I mentioned.
You look like one.
Yeah, I do. I do. So I think also being very like, one of the problems of being in that setting is there's a lack of competition. Yeah, and you do need a little bit of that to sort of. And then when I first started experiencing like like competition and meeting other, then I was older, I didn't really take it very well, because then you realize like how behind you are. Yeah, so I would say that, and then also at the same time, like you don't realize how hard people are working to achieve what they are. So you are very dissatisfied, very unhappy with yourself, but then you don't want to go the distance that other people have gone. So it gets like really weird and complicated. But I think when I went to college, it did really sort of balance itself out a little bit, because I had friends who were more successful. I had friends who were less successful in terms of our academics. Then you realize like, well, different people, like some people just thrive in different environments a lot better, and some people thrive in certain aspects of their environment better. Like some people were not really great at taking exams, but they wrote really good papers and were really strong in that way. Like they just needed the time to think and process, and some people couldn't write papers but were really good at scoring exams. And unfortunately, we are in a system where those who are good at exams there's a I don't know about back home for you, but here that is kind of the case where they are a little bit more in the advantage when it comes to scoring.
Yeah, of course. It's the same everywhere.
Yeah.
There's no fix, I don't believe, anywhere.
Yeah.
Unless it's a special school.
Sure, where they score you on more experiential things that you're doing. But that's just not the case, lah. But then I think you have to just put it in perspective and go like, it doesn't mean you're dumb, because like you would talk to some of these people and they know what they are talking about. It's just when you're asking someone to like vomit things out in like an hour and a half.
It's a memorization challenge.
It's quite like not really like a thing that does very well. And I think there's a lot of kids out there who struggle with the same sort of thing. You're kind of stuck in a system which doesn't favor maybe your style of learning, your style of assessment, and then unfortunately there's not a lot we can kind of do about that. And like he said, you still shouldn't sit there and not do anything. You should still try to see how you can go around the system. But then like also he said, you shouldn't like just judge yourself based on that one criteria that you're not very good at.
I mean, the good thing about most of the parts of STEM, maybe not science as much, is that you can do things your own way. Science, okay, it's pretty rigid. Like you usually have to go get formal education. But for technology, especially, if you have no formal education, but you have loads of things to back you up of like, I've done this, I've done that, because I mean, it's free to make a website. It's free to learn how to code. Like, is it MIT or something? They just have their course like online. It's just free. Like, you can just go watch it and just learn. And so like, there's so much out there to learn, and there are some amazing programs like Space Quest, the Space Quest that, you know, help you sort of just get involved, and you can do things your own way.
Yeah. And that's the thing other people don't realize about it. It's like, initially you have to learn all the rules and the language.
It's hard.
But after that, there's a lot of creativity you can have once it's like learning how to speak or learning how to write or learning how to play an instrument.
Anything creative. Like there's no, and which is so interesting because STEM is usually science. Okay, science is TEM. Just TEM is more creative than you think.
It's cut the S out of
the S. It's you can be more creative than you think because there is no rules.
Yeah, sure. That's nice. It makes it a lot more interesting than sometimes it's kind of promoted.
Yeah,
I think the issue with that is because when they teach us things, like if you go to like tertiary education in STEM, they cannot correlate stuff like the students cannot see what they studied to what they are going to apply.
Oh yeah, yeah,
so
for sure.
That whole connecting the dots is kind of like the only gap that they are missing within the education system.
Yeah, I think that it would be really helpful sometimes to at the secondary level to already start having exposure to careers and what that world is already like. Because unfortunately, I don't know about you guys, but in my experience, you only get exposed to it a little bit too late, like in your last year of college or your last couple of semesters, internship. Then suddenly it's like, welcome to this new thing that you're supposed to do. But I think there's a lot of room for it to sort of be interspersed along, a 4 or 5 year journey starting in your secondary.
Yeah.
And that's where a lot of students, like, I totally agree, like, why place the internship right at the end of, like, after your second semester or, like, your second year?
Yeah.
Then only to realize, shit, I don't want to actually do this career anymore. And then you have so many people dropping out of their careers. And then your parents having to be involved. It's like, bro, you know how much money I paid for your degree?
Yeah.
You better just finish it.
Yeah, which they kind of get to say a little bit because it's a bit justified. Yeah. So I mean, both of us are psychologists graduates. I'm sure you know many people who didn't pursue the field after that. Yeah.
I mean, both of us, right?
Like us and a whole host of people. We are all with you. We stand with you. Yeah. There's a lot of us who just go and study. We do this approach where we study first, then we think about what the solution is to the career later. But unfortunately, that is what it is sometimes. Yeah. But we are hoping to change that. And with things like Space Camp, maybe you guys can discover a little bit more of what, in this particular industry, what are things that are happening, how can you progress further, and other programs that may come along a little later to kind of expose you to that side of things.
Welcome to Space Quest, where we inspire young minds through STEM. At Space Quest, we believe in the power of STEM to spark curiosity, ignite creativity, and open up a world of possibilities for students. Through hands-on immersive learning in space science, robotics, and cybersecurity, we aim to show young minds just how exciting STEM actually can be. From designing experiments that could be sent to the International Space Station, to tackling real-world challenges, we create opportunities for students to think independently, dream big, and bring their ideas to life. Our programs come in all shapes and sizes: camps, day workshops, CCAs, and more. And we're always looking to partner with schools and corporates who are as passionate as we are about empowering the next generation. Every great journey begins with a single step. Let's take it together. For more information, visit us at spacequest.asia to learn more. Now, back to the podcast.
Yeah.
And then there is a demand for these things. So
Huge demand.
So well, I hope you enjoyed that. Yeah. That's great. I feel like I know you guys better now.
Stop.
Yeah. And I would like to say this was a success. Goodbye.
Stop. I don't like the ending.
We can do it again. Is it recording?
Hey, we're back. Sorry for the ending.
We're back. So thank you for joining us on Cut the Stem.
Yeah.
Please follow Space Quest on all their socials. What socials are we on?
Instagram.
Yeah.
LinkedIn.
Yeah, LinkedIn and
YouTube.
Yeah. But can you move it now a bit this way?
Oh, so sorry.
Yes. She's gonna do it. Alright, so yes, there's gonna be more episodes coming out. Please check them out, and if you like it, share, like, subscribe,
And
or
do-
like, share, subscribe.
Do also comment on topics that you wish that we can discuss also, and we'll be happy to discuss.
In fact,
them
let's
next
give you
episode.
some homework. Comment about what you think success is. Wow, what a great comment. Alright, bye. See you.